This is my 90's Merlin titanium frame here. I got this not too long ago, and it was a frame, and then there's a fork that came with it. It didn't come with it, but I purchased it from the same gentleman. And the fork was black just like this one. However, there wasn't much stack height on it. So I was very limited on a headset that I could use for it. And it had a 27 millimeter crown race on it. So my option was like it was a Tonge something or other, but just low stack steel headset. So I wasn't crazy about that. So I found another fork. I found this fork on eBay, and it was just some unbranded fork. It was gold. I had powder coated black. And this is going to be little drama video here. And the reason is this bottom bracket here has been a problem for me. So it is bearings that are held in by C-clamps and a 17 millimeter spindle. I had a couple cranks on this thing, and there is literally like a hair of literally a hair of space between the crank and this shell. And I don't know if you can see or not, but kind of that shiny bit, I think, is where it has been kind of rubbing. And the frustrating part is I don't know anybody who knows anything about these bottom brackets, and I don't find just like a bearing kit or anything like that. The bearings seem to be fine, but this spindle, it's been a while since I looked at it, but I'm pretty sure this is a 113. And the only ones that I find, there's one branded Dan's Comp, and they're like $70 some, and then there's another one on eBay which is about the same price that says they're 17 millimeters. My concern is that I get it and it doesn't work. This is press. It just, hammer fit in here. And so I don't, if I get it and it's not, if it's too loose or too tight or whatever. So I didn't realize this, but so I thought this thing would come out a little bit differently, but apparently you just hammer it in there, and then there's no stopper on either side. So my concern was that this thing would walk either direction. And so I took this out. I did have a little bit of space on the non-drive side, which, like I said, until I took this out, I didn't realize this, but I could have probably just hammered it in a little bit, like a millimeter out towards the drive side and maybe get the clearance. And I reached out to a titanium frame builder out of California, and I haven't heard back from them yet, but my question to them is if they can cut this out and put like a standard bottom bracket shell in there, which, this bike is cool, and it's like, I want to ride it. I don't care about, collectability or anything like that. I want it to function, and I want to be able to buy replacement parts for it without any sort of frustration. So, because of this bottom bracket shell, it makes me almost tempted to get rid of this bike. But anyway, I built this up a 1x, and it is lightweight. It's fun. I got a old S-Works carbon seat post on here. This fly saddle, titanium rails. I had built this bike up a couple different ways in terms of the cockpit, and just was not able to get enough rise to get this comfortable for me. So I tried a couple different just regular stem lengths with a stem converter, and just couldn't get enough rise. And the reach was fine. I just couldn't get enough rise with one of those regular stems. And I tried a couple different ones that were, I think a 25 degree Anyway, I ended up getting this stem from Crust. I think it's called the BJ stem. And then I got some Ritchie. I think these are the Venture Max Classic bars. So they're pretty shallow. And then this is like an old WTB, I think, had these shifter pods. And so these are from Kelly Bikes. And they're just a mount, so you can put a friction shifter there. So I have some old road shifter that you have to modify slightly. You just have to grind off the concave parts to get a flat surface there and mount it on. But this is where I put my 1x shifter, is right on the handlebars. And I got these Cane Creek SCR5 levers. And I got my little shop dog here came to visit. Hey Finn, what are you doing? What are you doing in here? Huh? Anyway, it's kind of fun, but I haven't ridden it much just because once I got it put together and got it comfortable, I started riding it, and that's when I noticed my bottom bracket was just really close in there, and I think I had a different crank on here before I realized that, and my chainring was really close here, and I was concerned about flexing it, digging into this, so but it's been the same issue. So I am going to hammer this one currently that I have back in, and then kind of just put it back together and ride it. And I do have another crank. I have an old XT crank that I think has a slightly different offset on it, and I might try that. But I'm going to hammer this back in here. And like I said, before I buy another one of these spindles, I'm going to try to run it this way. And then if the one bike builder doesn't get back to me about putting a different shell in here, I might reach out to a couple more. I don't know how difficult that is to cut that out and weld in a new one. I know anyone can't just weld titanium, but yeah, that would be the goal. I would like to be able to do that so I could just run in a regular bottom bracket. So I'm going to hammer this in and then kind of see what we're working with. I have even less than I did before. But let's see what we got here. So I think I'm going to put this side on first and then kind of adjust from there. I got clearance on that other side, but I don't know how much clearance I'll have once I tighten it down. If anybody out there knows of someone that could weld in a different BB shell on here, that would be, the info would be appreciated. So see, I have all kinds of room on here now, so maybe I just needed to adjust it. But you can see here, this side, this side clears, but barely, and that's how the other side looked. My drive side, and like I said, it doesn't seem like, it looked like it closed in a little bit on this side, but I'm baiting on it and it's not budging. So I'm gonna hit on it a couple more times. I don't think it's going anywhere. And see if I can even up this space just a little bit. So we will see how that goes. Beat on it just a little bit more, and I got this gap a little tighter, and I got more clearance on this side. I cranked it down pretty good. I think too, I think a couple times I've had to go and tighten this crank here, this drive side arm. Like it would kind of come loose, and so I don't know if I didn't have it tight enough the first time. I usually don't put Loctite on them. Some of the bolts I get have Loctite on them, but I usually don't do that. So I don't know if, like, it seems like doesn't seem like it's loose at all, but I don't know if it's the right, like I would imagine this is JIS, and I don't know if that's the right square taper on there. I think it is, but I've had it kind of move on me or get loose on me, and I've had to tighten it down a couple times. So it looks like maybe I just needed to pound it over. But if it does walk over time, it just kind of seems like a really weird design to me. And I just don't like the idea of, if I need to find parts, I gotta, search and scour and make sure I get the right thing. And it just a little frustrating for me. Yoshimura pedals. These are cool. I think these are the Chileo, but these are, I think, the first gen of these pedals. I think they're slightly different now, but they kind of look like, they remind me of those wolf tooth pedals, the shape of them and whatnot. But I traded these, some nice guy traded these to me for some old vintage RockShox fork I had, so I was super stoked to get these out of the deal. So I'm gonna throw these pedals on here and give this thing a test ride and start riding it again. Once I got this cockpit all set up to where it was comfortable for me, I didn't ride it for very long before I realized that crank was rubbing there, and so I've had it sitting for a long time trying to figure out what to do, and then not wanting to spend money on a spindle if I wasn't for sure if it was going to work or not. So I was going to order a 118. I think it was Dan's Comp. Yeah, Dan's Comp had it off of Performance something or other. Anyway, I just wasn't sure if it was going to work because, I don't know if it was the right one for it. And there just wasn't a lot out there, so hopefully this works. But still, I still really would like to swap out that shell. So anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next project.